for years I've had people say, hey, you do a pretty hip show. Why don't you just come out wearing like a leather jacket? And I think, or, you don't have to wear a suit and tie. And I think there's nothing funnier than a guy in a suit and tie acting like an ass.
Hip refers to something that is current or fashionable. For example, a hip show would be a very popular show. A hip fashion, again, would be something that's popular and also that, how do you want to put it, shows a certain coolness. Similarly, you can have a person who's a hipster, who is somebody who is somewhat counterculture, somewhat different than the rest of society, supposedly, who is on top of what the newest trends are, the newest fashions, the newest shows, who keeps track of these things. Yeah, so if somebody is hip, it means they're in the know and that they're with it, with all the latest fashions and trends. Apparently the word comes from the 1950s when they had beatniks, and the beatnik might have been called a hep cat, and that got turned into hip. You can also be hip to things, which means that you know about things. For example, if there's a TV show, you can say, yeah, I'm hip to that show, which means that I know about that particular TV show. A few years ago, square glasses started becoming very popular. I didn't think they were that hip at first, but then after a while, I started thinking they were okay. It used to be that fringe and leather was hip, but nowadays, if you wear a leather jacket, people think that you're an animal killer. So leather is not hip anymore.
Each one of these writers in that room was a first-class comedy mind, and I went into that room and I was scared shitless.
Scared shitless means that someone is very, very scared. It has two possible meanings. One of them is that somebody is so scared that they shit right in their pants. The other meaning is that somebody is so scared that they couldn't shit even if they wanted to. Shitless can also be used in other expressions. For example, bored shitless, which would mean that somebody is so bored they're just don't know what to do with themselves. They're very upset about it. A lot of people talk about what they would do in a fight, or what they would do if somebody pulled a knife on them or pulled a gun on them. And they even go to school to learn about what to do. But most people, if somebody pulled a gun on them or pulled a knife on, or if they pulled a knife on them, they would just be totally scared shitless. They wouldn't know what to do, even after going to all those training courses. I climbed up this cliff a few years ago. I got halfway up the cliff, and I realized I wasn't going to be able to make it the whole way. So I was scared completely shitless, and I had to slowly work my way back down the cliff. And when I got to the ground, I was so grateful that I was still alive. I went with a bunch of friends to go jump in the river from this high height. It was probably about 50 or 60 feet. And I was completely scared shitless. But all my friends jumped in, and I felt I had to jump in too. So it wasn't that much fun, I'll admit that. But I did do it, even though I was scared shitless.
That's all for today. Tom Taylor is an ESL tutor. He teaches English in the United States and outside, all over the world using Skype. He can be reached at his website, which is
ESL-fullsteamahead.com.
Click on this link and check out his website and email with questions. Thank you, Tom, and I'll talk to you next time.
Thank you.